Hi guys, my happy at-home hairdressers. I'm back with another video. Today we've got Elizabeth. Again, you know, she's my roommate and best friend at this point. No, just kidding. My puppy's my best friend, but she's at daycare right now. Anyway, so here's Elizabeth. I've set her with some curls because today's video is going to be about cutting curly hair and how to trim up your curly hair at home. I've done a couple videos now about clipper cuts or bang trims or trimming your ends and things like that. But now I'm going to talk about more specifically how to do curly hair. So here we go. Let's take her set out. I'm just going to pull these curls out. I wanted to get them as fresh as possible because I knew that with her long hair, these are not going to be curls for long. They're probably going to be more waves in no time. So at least to be able to show you what I mean by cutting the ends of curls and things like that, we need some curl going on. So here we go. How are you guys doing out there? Have you tried some of the videos and stuff that I've done before? If you have, let me know how it went. Maybe you tried to set your own hair. Oh, hey, that's the laundry. Maybe you tried to set your own hair, or maybe you tried to trim it or do whatever, any of these videos I've been sharing. Let me know what's going on. So check this out. Hey, not bad. We got a good set going on. All right, so let's pull this apart. Now, obviously, curly hair does not, we do not look like this when we wake up in the morning. It's not all perfectly curled like this. More likely, if we like shook it out a whole bunch and maybe threw it on the floor for a while, that's kind of what some of us at least have felt like when dealing with our curly hair. I know that my hair isn't curly right now. I don't know what happened to it, but some of you who know me know that I have really curly hair, or at least have in the past. And yeah, sometimes it can feel like a total mess. So I'm here to try and help. Oh look, we had one that was still hooked in there. I'm just gonna shake her out. You can also like finger through this a little bit, just a little bit, but isn't she lovely? All right, so Elizabeth looks pretty fabulous actually, but she's feeling like she just needs a trim, and it's been a long time and she hasn't seen her hairdresser, and she wants to trim up her ends. So what's going to happen here is you look at it and you're like, oh my God, where do I even start, right? So maybe take a section. Maybe start with the lower section. So we're just going to pin up the upper section of hair and pretty much anything below her ear. So we're just going to work on that back nape section first. So just pull it up and put it in a clip. Sorry I started this video with the dryer going. I completely forgot that it was even on. I just kind of went for it. All right, so here she is. So you can see the curls separate themselves a little bit. So when you're gonna cut your hair and you have curly hair, the best thing to do is to wash your hair, let it air dry as you usually do, like a natural curl. The best version of it possible, you know, just let it air dry and be its curly self so that you can see the curl separation. If I stand away here, you can see like this one. Oh, this looks like it's doing its own thing. So we're gonna treat that as its own curl. Same thing with this one. We can treat that as its own curl. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna work through your head in this way, just treating each section as its own section to cut basically. So Elizabeth is thinking that she wants to take an inch off. So that's about like that much. So we're gonna take that little end off today, and I'll just show you how we do that. So you take your curl. This isn't It's not rocket science. This is pretty easy, you guys. So I'm excited if you're gonna try this. Take your individual curl, grab the end, let me stand away, and then take your scissors, and like I showed you, or have shown you before in some other videos, you wanna gently open and close the scissors as you move out towards the tip of the hair. That's gonna give a slightly uneven cut to the end so that it doesn't look too blocky. And so then there we have, if you can see, I cut about 1 inch there, right? Cool. So there's one piece. It's trimmed, and the end is nice and clean, but it's not like one big chop, right? So it's a lot softer, and it's gonna go well with what's already going on in the hair. So then you grab your next curl. So you can clip this piece aside. I'm just gonna leave it aside until we get a good enough section to clip. Sorry, you can't see beyond the countertop. I'm just pulling this hair all the way down, and then we're just gonna look at that end. Grab that end and that gentle opening and closing all the way out towards the edge. Can you see that? There you go. So now we got 2, look at that. So we're moving around. It's this is kind of this is a bigger curl here. So actually, you know, I might see if there's some logic in separating that. It looks like there's a little bit of a split right here. So I'm gonna break that into 2. And we'll pull one of those curls out. Check out the end. And just take 1 inch off with that sort of, we call it slide cutting. This is a slide cutting technique. All right, grab that other guy, other half of that big one. Okay, so I'm gonna start sectioning this out because it looks like we have a good enough section here to clip to the sides so we don't get confused about what we cut, what we didn't cut. You know, if you're working on shorter hair, just kind of remember, you know, you'll be doing the same kind of method, but just sort of remember about where you're at on the head. And you can always use your fingers to pull out from the head to kind of check all of the lengths. And if it looks like, oh, it's short here and it's long behind that, then obviously you're going to work on the long stuff behind that. And give it a little trim. All right, let's turn her around. Looks like this guy is on its own, or gal, or whatever. And check out that end. There it is. And just keep working all the way around the head. Looking a lot better, and we're getting her done. So let's see. So I'm not gonna bore you with going through the entire thing. I'll finish this section and then I'm gonna pull all of her hair down. Don't worry, I'll cut the rest of her hair eventually. Elizabeth has a lot of hair to cut. Go. And now for that awesome flexibility that she has. Move her head all the way around. Just 1 inch. All right, can you guys see how I'm using the scissors? It's a very gentle cut. clipped. Just a few more sections here. Oh, that one looks like I already did it. Yeah, you can pull it up and see, because if it's a little bit cleaner than the last one, then you might have already cut that. Like her hair, I think it was in my last video maybe, we put rubber bands on the end and just trimmed the ends a little bit. So now I'm just trimming them a little bit more, because she did kind of need more, not gonna lie. But I have one mannequin head for quarantine, and we have to make this, we gotta make this last. There we go. So great, so there's the back. Now obviously her curls were all done a little differently, so they're gonna have a different sort of, they're gonna look like slightly different lengths, but it looks great. It's super healthy. We just took 1 inch off of everything. And she's feeling good. She's feeling a lot better. So, okay, so next up, I'm just gonna talk a tiny bit about putting some layers in. Because let's say you've gone through your whole head, you've trimmed everything up, and you're like, okay, the ends look a lot better, but my hair is looking really like boxy. And I mean, by boxy, I mean it's just thick and heavy and long. Sometimes, you know, if you've got like more of a blunt sort of haircut and it's curly, it's gonna look kind of triangular. She already has a little bit of layering in here, and you can see by the shape of her curls and her cut that there is a little bit of layering. So that's kind of nice. It kind of softens, rounds out the bottom. But let's say that she wants more layering. You're going to use that same technique. So find a curl. This guy looks like it's on its own, but you're just going to take a little more off. So there's a lot of ways you can do this. You can section it if you want, moving from the lower parts of the hair to the upper. But sometimes you could maybe cut a little extra, especially if you're not a professional, you don't really know what you're doing, and you're just doing this to trim it up. So what I would do is I would start with what you can see and just do a little bit. You know, you don't have to go crazy. So grab a piece that you can see. We have this curl in the front here. And let's say that she wants it to be like up to here. So we're going to take that piece up a little bit. We're going to want to balance this on both sides, obviously. I'm using the same cutting technique. A time when I would maybe cut a little bit more bluntly on the bottom is if she had really, really fine hair. So if you have curly hair but it's super fine, then you can do a little bit more like chop, you know, like a big blunt cut. So there, that added a little bit of layer in there. And then let's come around to the other side and just check out sort of where that falls in comparison to, yeah, so we've got like, you know, a number of inches longer now on the other side. So we're going to take that front piece and same technique, cut some off there. And then, oh, she has 2 little layers now. Look at that. So we can keep going if, you know, if you want. What I would do is I just work off of this top, like there's a point where the head starts to curve. So you can kind of, there's this point here, and then there's this curving that happens, obviously. So right where that curve happens, I forget what that's called. There's a name for it in hair school, but I long ago forgot that. This section is kind of your safest section to be layering. So I'd work there first. This section, you know, everything on top of that curve. So you can work around your whole head and even, you know, check out the mirror. You can look in your own mirror, at a mirror, and see the back of your head. And you can see where maybe there's some pieces on top that you can just grab the end of, pull up and trim. Obviously we're talking about long curly hair. If you have shorter curly hair, then, and you don't have your hairdresser right now and you want to do something at home, then, you have to be a little bit more careful. You can still look in the back, pull up different pieces, but it might spring up a little closer, a little tighter. You can still do the same thing in the front as what I did here. Just get creative and see how it goes. But yeah, don't go nuts with it. Take it one step at a time. Check out sort of, all of your layers don't have to be the same length at all. Like that actually, it makes a nice, different sort of uneven kind of cut. I'm going to cut this one. Let's see where that one lands. Looking good. So yeah, kind of uneven layering is sort of like the way to go these days anyway. So I definitely recommend just playing around with the lengths. Let's take a little bit off of this one. So yeah, then toss it and keep, manipulating it and see sort of like what's coming out of it. What kind of shape how's the shape changing? If she wanted to go really layered and kind of bring this way in and bring this kind of a little bit more body to it, kind of like that, let's say, then she's got to take a lot more off of these top layers, obviously. I'm not going to do that today because, like I said, this girl's got last. But you can see how layers, this is me just holding the hair up, can change a haircut dramatically and make, especially with curly hair, it's all about the layers. It's all about the layers. It's all about the shape. And so that's kind of where I'm going with this is like, be gentle on yourself with cutting layers for the first time because it can get out of control really quickly. I know it's happened for me doing my own hair before, and I'm a professional, but also like have fun experimenting and experiment a little bit, with some of these pieces in the front, things that you can see, and scrunch it up a little bit and see how it changes. When you wet your hair, you wash your hair, it's going to spring up a lot. With curly hair, it acts completely different than straight hair. And so, there's different products used, there's different ways of styling. Everything is kind of different, but you can have a ton of fun with it. And I hope that helped you get just a few tips on how to cut curls. So yeah, I guess I'm going to leave it at that today. If you guys like it, please feel free to leave me a small donation. Still out of work here, but hopefully we'll be open again in June. So anyway, good to see you guys, and I will see you next time.